Welcome to my channel USA Old Coins, the place where history meets treasure. Here, every coin tells a story, from the oldest United States classics that shaped our past to the newest rare discoveries that amaze collectors today. If you love the thrill of uncovering hidden value, exploring the beauty of design, and learning the secrets behind coins worth fortunes, then you're in the right place. Join us as we dive deep into the world of rare U.S. coins, both old and new, and reveal the fascinating details that make them priceless. Top 1. The Frederick Douglass Quarter, issued in 2017, is one of the most powerful and meaningful coins in the America the Beautiful series. It was designed to honor the life and legacy of Frederick Douglass, one of the most influential figures in American history. On the obverse, like all quarters, we find the iconic portrait of George Washington, a constant reminder of the nation's beginnings. But it is the reverse that makes this coin truly extraordinary, filled with history, culture, and inspiration. The design features Frederick Douglass seated at a writing desk, symbolizing his lifelong dedication to words, knowledge, and freedom. Behind him rises the stately Douglass home in Washington, D.C., where he spent the later years of his remarkable life. This imagery captures both his personal story and his public mission, blending them beautifully into one coin. When the quarter was released, it immediately struck a chord with collectors and historians alike. Douglass was not only a writer and abolitionist, but also a statesman and a voice of justice in a difficult era. To see his figure honored on a U.S. quarter was a milestone that carried deep meaning across the country. The choice of design emphasized both his intellect and his influence, showcasing him as a leader and thinker. Collectors quickly began saving these coins, recognizing that they were more than just small pieces of change. The Frederick Douglass quarter symbolized courage, resilience, and the relentless pursuit of freedom. Even those outside of numismatics saw its importance as a teaching tool and a symbol of equality. But as with all coins, there are certain pieces that carry much greater value than others. Rare varieties, such as double dies, off-center strikes, and die cracks, have become highly sought after. Coins in mint state condition, especially those with pristine surfaces, have also brought strong interest at auctions. Professional grading services have certified some of these coins at exceptionally high grades. These top-quality examples are the ones that truly shine in the world of coin collecting. The higher the grade, the higher the demand, and the more collectors compete to own it. This blend of historical significance and physical rarity has made the Frederick Douglass quarter a treasure. It is a coin that speaks not only to collectors, but to anyone who values American history. The symbolism of the pen, the desk, and the home reminds us of the power of knowledge and perseverance. For those who cherish rare coins, owning a Douglass quarter in top condition is like holding a piece of history. Auction houses and private collectors continue to watch this coin with great interest. The market has shown again and again that powerful stories raise the value of coins beyond their metal, and few stories are as powerful as that of Frederick Douglass. Immortalized on this quarter, it stands as a reminder that even modern coins can become valuable treasures over time. And the most astonishing fact is that the United States of America Washington State's quarter dollar Frederick Douglass 2017 has been valued as high as $43,000. Top 2. The Harper's Ferry quarter, released in 2016, is one of the most visually striking and historically rich coins of the America the Beautiful series. It was designed to honor Harper's Ferry National Historical Park in West Virginia, a place deeply tied to America's story of freedom and struggle. On the obverse, the quarter carries the timeless portrait of George Washington, uniting it with the long tradition of U.S. coinage. But the reverse of this coin draws immediate attention with its beautifully detailed design. It depicts John Brown's Fort, the building most associated with the legendary abolitionists' raid of 1859. This building, small yet powerful in symbolism, became a central landmark in the fight against slavery. The fort sits in the heart of Harper's Ferry, a place where history changed direction forever. Collectors and historians alike were fascinated to see such a powerful site captured on a U.S. quarter. The design serves as both a tribute to the place and a reminder of the courage of those who fought for freedom. Harper's Ferry is more than just a historic landmark, it is a symbol of resilience, conflict, and change. Why placing it on a quarter? The U.S. Mint gave millions of Americans a chance to carry a piece of that history in their pockets. When this quarter entered circulation, it quickly gained attention from coin enthusiasts. The intricate artwork and the historical weight made it one of the standout designs of its release year. Collectors immediately began saving and grading high-quality examples to preserve their beauty. Over time, certain varieties of the Harper's Ferry quarter began to emerge as particularly valuable error coins, with doubled designs or striking flaws, attracted a special group of numismatists. High-grade specimens, especially those certified in mint state condition, saw strong demand. Professional grading services reported a number of near-perfect examples, each drawing significant interest. As with many modern quarters, rarity and condition drive the value, but history gives it even more power. The combination of John Brown's fort and the story behind it made this quarter especially meaningful. It isn't just a coin, it's a link to a turbulent chapter in American history. For many collectors, owning a Harper's Ferry quarter is like holding a reminder of the fight for justice. Its cultural and historical symbolism amplifies its worth beyond its metal content. Auction houses have seen competitive bidding for the finest examples of this coin. Private collectors also value it highly, knowing that both story and condition drive desirability. The Harper's Ferry quarter is an excellent example of how modern issues can achieve great value. It proves that coins released only a few years ago can already be considered treasures, and as time passes, these quarters will likely grow even more important to collectors. The most impressive fact of all is that the United States of America Washington State's $quarter Harper's Ferry 2016 has been valued at an astonishing $47,000. Top 3. The War in the Pacific Quarter, issued in 2019, is one of the most dramatic and powerful designs in the America the Beautiful series. This coin was created to honor the war in the Pacific National Historical Park in Guam, a site that commemorates the sacrifices made during World War II. On the obverse, we see the familiar and timeless portrait of George Washington, linking this quarter to a tradition that stretches back generations. But the reverse design instantly captures attention with its striking depiction of history. It shows American troops coming ashore under fire during the liberation of Guam in 1944. Image is filled with intensity, showing soldiers advancing through the surf with determination and bravery. This design highlights not just a battle, but the spirit of sacrifice and courage that defined the Pacific theater. When the quarter was released, collectors and veterans' families alike recognized its deep significance. It wasn't just a coin, it was a tribute to those who fought and gave their lives for freedom. The war in the Pacific Quarter connected millions of Americans with a chapter of history that must never be forgotten. Collectors immediately began to save this coin, appreciating both its design and its emotional impact. The detail in the artwork makes it stand out, even among the many memorable designs of the series, from the waves to the soldier's gear. Every element is carefully struck to tell a story of courage. As with many quarters, rarity and condition quickly became important factors in determining value. Error coins, such as those with double dies or off-center strikes, proved to be especially valuable. High-grade coins in pristine condition also drew the attention of serious collectors. Professional grading services certified a number of near-perfect examples, which soon appeared in auctions. The market for these coins has been strong, fueled by both history and scarcity. The War in the Pacific Quarter is not only a coin but also a piece of living memory. It represents the sacrifices of a generation and the cost of freedom in a way that resonates deeply. Collectors who own this coin often see it as more than just part of a set, it's a reminder of bravery. The story behind the design makes it one of the most meaningful modern quarters. Auction houses have seen competitive bidding whenever the finest examples of this coin are offered. Private collectors, too, are eager to add it to their collections because of its significance. The demand for high-quality war in the Pacific Quarters continues to grow as awareness spreads. This coin demonstrates how modern releases can carry both beauty and historical depth. For many, it is not just about collecting, but about preserving the memory of World War II heroes. And the most remarkable fact is that the United States of America Washington State's $quarter War in the Pacific 2019 has reached a value of $34,000. Top 4. The Washington Quarter of 1965 is one of the most fascinating coins in American history, not just because of its design but because of the great transition it represents. For decades before 1965, quarters were struck in 90% silver, giving them both beauty and intrinsic value. But in 1965, everything changed when the U.S. Mint shifted to a copper-nickel-clad composition due to rising silver prices. This was the first year the Washington quarter was struck without any silver content, marking a new era for American coinage. On the obverse, the coin carries the same portrait of George Washington, designed by John Flanagan, a familiar and enduring image. The reverse continues to display the heraldic eagle, wings spread proudly, clutching arrows and olive branches, symbolizing strength and peace. Though the design remained the same, the metal change gave the 1965 quarter a unique place in history. Collectors were instantly aware that this was more than just another quarter. It was a turning point in U.S. coinage. Millions of these quarters were struck, yet a small number stand out as incredibly valuable today. Why? Because certain rare varieties and striking errors from 1965 have become treasures in the coin collecting world. Some 1965 quarters were accidentally struck on leftover silver planchets from 1964, creating extremely rare and valuable pieces. Others contain minting errors, such as double dies or off-center strikes, which increase their desirability. High-grade examples preserved in pristine condition are also highly sought after by numismatists. These coins tell the story of a nation adapting to economic pressures while still producing currency of enduring beauty. For collectors, the 1965 quarter is a fascinating blend of history, rarity, and transition. It symbolizes the end of silver in circulation and the beginning of the modern clad coinage era. The fact that some escaped the mint with silver planchets adds even more intrigue. Auction houses have seen dramatic results when these rare 1965 era coins appear. Prices have soared as collectors compete fiercely to own one of these numismatic treasures. The coin's historical significance and scarcity make it stand out in any collection, even for those who are not collectors. The story of the 1965 quarter captures attention. It represents a moment when money itself was changing in America, reflecting shifts in the economy. To hold such a coin is to hold a piece of that transformation in your hand. Over the decades, the legend of the 1965 quarter has only grown stronger. Each time a rare example surfaces, it reinforces the excitement surrounding this remarkable coin. The value of these special quarters continues to climb, making them a wise investment as well as a historical treasure. Collectors who own one of the rarest examples know they have something extraordinary. And the most incredible fact of all is that the United States of America Washington quarter dollar 1965 has been valued at an astonishing $182,000. Top 5. The Washington quarter of 1984 may appear at first glance to be just another modern coin from everyday circulation, but behind this simple date lies a fascinating story that has caught the attention of coin collectors for decades. This coin was struck during a period when the Washington quarter designed by John Flanagan was still the standard. The obverse shows the familiar portrait of George Washington, stern and dignified, surrounded by the words United States of America, Liberty, and In God We Trust. On the reverse, the proud heraldic eagle spreads its wings, clutching arrows and olive branches, symbols of both strength and peace. For most people, this quarter simply moved through pockets, cash registers, and vending machines. Yet for collectors, the 1984 quarter carries a level of intrigue that sets it apart from ordinary change. Although millions were minted, only a small number became rare and highly valuable due to unusual circumstances. The most remarkable examples are those struck with minting errors, which have fascinated collectors since their discovery. Some were created with dramatic die cracks, doubling in the lettering, or even off-center strikes that make them stand out. Others were found struck on planchets intended for other denominations, making them exceptionally scarce. When errors like these are preserved in excellent condition, their rarity skyrockets their value beyond errors. Quarters from 1984 in the highest grades of mint state are also prized. Collectors carefully examine these coins for luster, strike sharpness, and absence of scratches or wear. Only a fraction survive in flawless condition, making them treasures for serious numismatists. This is why a 1984 quarter can be worth far more than just its face value of 25 cents. It represents both the artistry of American coinage and the unpredictability of minting technology. Each rare variety tells its own story about how coins were struck and what mistakes slipped through the presses. The thrill for collectors comes in finding these hidden gems among billions of ordinary pieces. Many people have even discovered valuable 1984 quarters sitting unnoticed in their change jars. Auction houses and private sales have proven that the demand for rare 1984 quarters is strong. Whenever a high-grade or rare error coin appears, collectors compete fiercely to claim it. Prices achieved for the most exceptional examples demonstrate the coin's growing reputation. This surge in interest shows that even modern quarters can hold surprising value. The 1984 quarter's legacy is that of a sleeper coin, ordinary on the surface but extraordinary in the right form. He reminds us that history and value are sometimes hiding in plain sight, waiting to be discovered. For those who own one of these rare pieces, it feels like holding a piece of hidden treasure, and for collectors, the 1984 quarter stands as proof that even recent decades can produce remarkable finds. The most exciting fact of all is that the United States of America Washington quarter dollar 1984 has been valued at an incredible $88,000. Top 6. The Washington quarter dollar of 1994 is one of those coins that may look common to the average eye but carries a fascinating story for coin collectors. Struck during the last decade before the launch of the state quarters program, the 1994 quarter belongs to the classic Washington design that had already been in use for over 60 years. The obverse proudly displays the bust of George Washington, designed by John Flanagan, a portrait that became iconic in American numismatics. Around Washington's profile, you can see the inscriptions United States of America, Liberty, and In God We Trust, along with the denomination quarter dollar. The reverse, the powerful image of the heraldic eagle stands as a reminder of national pride, holding arrows of defense and an olive branch of peace. At first glance, this coin was simply another quarter passing through the hands of millions of Americans in 1994. For collectors, its significance goes far beyond its ordinary use as pocket change. The 1994 quarter is particularly interesting because it was minted in large numbers at both the Philadelphia and Denver mints, as well as in proof quality at San Francisco. Among these, the most valuable examples are those struck with errors or preserved in perfect mint state condition. Coins struck off-center, those with doubling in the inscriptions, or those made on wrong planchets have amazed collectors and pushed values into surprising ranges. Even without errors, some 1994 quarters have been graded at the very top levels by professional grading services, making them exceptional finds. Flawless coins with brilliant luster and sharp strikes are the ones that stand out the most at auctions. The rarity of such condition is what makes them so special. Considering how many coins get damaged through circulation, collectors are always on the hunt for these high-grade survivors, knowing they represent a very small fraction of the total mintage. Another detail that makes the 1994 quarter attractive is its position in history as one of the final issues before the coin world changed dramatically in 1999. State quarters program brought a new wave of collecting interest, but coins like the 1994 quarter hold the nostalgia of the old design. They serve as a bridge between the long-running Washington Eagle reverse and the creative state-themed designs that would follow. When examining a 1994 quarter, collectors often look for fine details in the strike, such as the sharpness of the eagle's feathers or Washington's hair. These small differences in quality can mean the difference between a common coin and a valuable rarity. Auction results over the years have shown that when the right 1994 quarter appears, collectors are willing to pay handsomely. Stories of quarters once thought ordinary selling for thousands continue to spark excitement in the numismatic community. This is why so many people check their old coin jars and savings, hoping to discover a treasure hidden in plain sight. Even though the 1994 quarter is relatively modern, its potential for high value proves that age is not the only factor in coin collecting. What matters most is rarity, condition, and collector demand. And the 1994 quarter meets all three when the right example surfaces. Incredible to think that a coin once used for a candy bar or a bus ride can now be worth a small fortune. The Washington Quarter series continues to fascinate collectors worldwide, and the 1994 issue holds its own unique place in that history. For those who have managed to preserve one of these coins in pristine form, the reward is far greater than 25 cents. the story of the 1994 quarter is one of hidden value, overlooked rarity, and the thrill of discovery that defines coin collecting. And the most exciting part of all is that the United States of America Washington quarter dollar 1994 has been valued at an astounding $63,000.